How's it going, guys? Really quick, first of all, sorry for not uploading in a while. I genuinely have been on a fat time crunch. The second thing, I think most of you guys know kind of why I'm uploading this video, but for those of you who kind of don't know, so I put up a poll on my Instagram, I put up a poll on my Discord, and I asked, as a growth operator, what's the number one thing you struggle with? There were like 4 different options. Every single person said the same thing, which was outreach, which in a way kind of wasn't a surprise to me. But at the same time, I'm surprised by how many people had issues with outreach. So this video, originally it was going to be a Miro board, like a presentation style, like a Loom Miro board. But I realized like I'd rather just talk to you guys one-on-one and just tell you straight up what has been working for me and other creators, which is this. Think about outreach in inverse. What do I mean by that? Use inverse thinking for outreach. I know you guys are thinking that's very broad. Well, think about it like this. Dustin, Jackson, there's like 3-4 different growth operators. They all recommend you to use the same exact style for outreach, which is you slide in their DMs, you say, hey, do you sell one-on-one mentorship? And then you start a conversation from there. Let me tell you why that doesn't work. It's very, very simple. It's oversaturated. It's overused. Everybody's been using it. And whenever a creator sees that DM, and then you go from there to, oh, by the way, I'm a growth operator. I help you XYZ. Do you understand how the creator might be mad at you? Because they feel like their time's been wasted. They thought you were a lead coming in, which you aren't. And overall, the creator is not going to want to work with you. So use inverse thinking. What does that mean? Inverse thinking, it's very, very basic. You look at, okay, ask yourself what 100% will not work. So, okay, I know sending, hey, do you do one-on-one mentorship? I know sending that message won't work. Now, I know this method won't work. I know this method won't work. So you start narrowing down the options. You start narrowing down, okay, I'm finally starting to realize what's working. I'm realizing what's not working. And you essentially, you look at that, okay, there's an exception to the rule. If you have a very strong personal brand, if your name is already known in the info space, if you've already like worked on people's offers, if you have testimonials, obviously you're excluded because at that point, your personal brand, it's above all of that. This video is mainly for people who are brand new to info. They've never ran an offer before. And they're struggling with outreach. That's really who this video is for. Now, let me ask you this. How do you expect to sign a creator for $40,000, $50,000, $60,000? Do you really think all of that's done over one DM? Let me genuinely ask each and every single one of you guys, because I'll tell you from my personal experience, the creator I have right now that I'm still working with, my biggest creator who I've landed, there were hours of calls, tons of back and forth. Okay, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? Like, there were a bunch of terms and conditions going back and forth. It wasn't just, hey, I see you as a client, let's work together. The problem is a lot of you growth operators, you guys think of these people as clients. Like, oh, I just signed a new client. Oh, I just got another client. These are genuinely your partners. These are not just clients. This is somebody that you want to work with long-term. You want to build them up. And the goal is not to just work with them for a month and leave them. Unless they're a bad creator, then sure. You know, you could work with them for a month and leave. However, long-term is always, always, always going to be the play. Why do I say that? You could find these creators when they have smaller socials, when they have less of a following, when they're not as big. And you know what happens if you sign them early on? They start growing and growing. And as a result, you get obviously a part of that money. Now, inverse thinking, I don't know why that light's coming off. Inverse thinking, it's not something that just applies to outreach. Although this video is based for outreach, it's not something that could just apply to outreach. If you're someone who works in sales, if you're trying to get on an offer, okay, look at what every single other person is doing to get onto an offer and what are people not doing. What is the thing that people who genuinely succeed and get placed on a good offer, what are they doing? So ask yourself that. I don't know why it's going out of focus. So ask yourself that. And not only that, but even when it comes to building out funnels, landing pages, sourcing leads, whatever it is, what are majority of people doing that is not working? And what can you do? What is the small percentage that nobody does that works? genuinely, the whole point of this video is to help you guys with outreach. Use inverse thinking in business. Genuinely use it. Once I started using inverse thinking, I mean, everything started taking off for me. It's actually really easy for me to land creators right now. The only thing I'm struggling with personally is landing the bigger creators. But I have like small creators in my DMs all the time. Like every week I have a couple small creators come in, but genuinely I don't know. I don't really like running up very small creators. I kind of have a whole different business model right now where I'm just trying to focus on the big ones. But you guys use inverse thinking. And for outreach, just stand out from people. Like, stop being such a bot. Stop being what every single other person is doing for outreach. That's the number one advice I could give you guys. Oliver Shan made a pretty good video on outreach, where he kind of builds a connection. He gets them on essentially very early on, which I think that's not a bad outreach strategy. What I do is kind of a little bit different. My whole thing is like long-term, build a connection with them. That's kind of more my outreach strategy. But you guys have to understand that like these bigger creators, they're not going to want to work with you just off of one DM, especially if you have no social proof. But you guys, I really hope this helps you. Hopefully this is better than a Miro board. Let me know in the comments if you guys would prefer a Miro, because genuinely that just takes up so much more time, and it's easier for me to hop on, talk for a couple minutes, and just say everything that would have been in the Miro board regardless. But yeah, really quick, I'm just refilming the outro. A couple things I forgot to add. I have a free Discord down below. There's other growth operators, people on high ticket sales. I'm in the Discord pretty frequently. You guys could also follow my Instagram is down below. I'll be more than free and happy to answer any of your questions. But yeah, I think this video is some pretty good sauce, because a lot of people for outreach, it's super saturated and you guys genuinely have to stick out. But that's pretty much it, guys. God bless.